for malaria, and it's traditionally made from the cinchona bark, China officinalis. And he was making this medicine up, and he thought, I wonder what would happen to me if I took some of this. I'm not ill, but what will happen to me if I take it? He took a small dose, and in sort of 24, 48 hours, he had all the symptoms of malaria. And so then he got these various friends that, you know, other junior doctors, and he explained what had happened. So then they thought, oh, maybe we're onto something. So they tried all of this with various different things in very, very small doses, because a lot of them, remedies then were made from poisons, and like, say, mercury or, you know, sulfur. These kind of things are actually poisonous to the body unless they're in very small doses. Anyway, Hahnemann then, who was a very religious person, he discovered how to kind of, it's like releasing the energy of the substance. And what he used to do was he used to dilute it to infinitesimal amounts, tiny, tiny, weeny amounts in water. And then he'd bash it on his Bible, which is called succussing. And that bashing releases the energy of the object, whatever you're making the remedy out of. And he found that this, then taking it, it was like this powerful cure would take place. And I mean, this is quite a big subject, so I'm trying to keep it brief. But you basically, you talk to someone about their life, and you know, people will come in and they say, like, for instance, somebody once came to me and she had a migraine. Every Wednesday she would have a migraine without fail. And when we unwound her story, I discovered that on a Wednesday, quite a number, like say 10 years before, someone had died on a Wednesday, and it was a Wednesday. She looked it up in her diary and it was a Wednesday. So I gave her a remedy for grief, and she never had the migraine again. So you just have to kind of really listen to the person, observe them, and there's many things that you have to take into account, obviously, but energetically we resonate. I used that word at the beginning, you know, when we were first talking, that we resonated. So there are certain things like, you might like, you know, the color red, or you might dislike the color red, or, you know, and it's what you're resonating with. So let's say you do love the colors red and pink, and you know, you feel really good about them, then something about that will be present in a homeopathic remedy. You will choose something around that. I mean, there are remedies made from colors, but mainly their remedies are made from minerals, from plants, from everything in the natural world around us, because we resonate with certain things. You know, some of us really love trees, some of us love animals, you know, some of us don't like animals. You know, it's kind of what is going on with that person. You have to really listen, and you know, listen in a very, it's called the unprejudiced prescriber, which is quite a difficult thing to be, but it's like you're just trying to listen to that person without any judgment coming in your mind, without any pre-thought. And in that way, and then I use a lot of my intuition, obviously, that we have developed over the years. And, you know, I will arrive at remedies in different ways. But we have a method of looking things up in books and cross-referencing and all sorts of things like that. But if my intuition is telling me something very strongly about someone, I listen to that above everything.
What is very interesting, Sue, is that you talked about the colors, and you have colors within you. If you really think about it, how we also sometimes look at people is the aura. we actually see the aura. We see the colors in the aura. People who really are trained or can see that will be able automatically either to see if something is wrong with the person, see if there lies an illness with the person, if there's a depression or anger or whatever. I have seen that in the most vivid sense with you, Sue. When I came to visit you, if you remember, there was a girlfriend, it was your girlfriend, I knew her because of you.
Yes.
And I sat in your flat and suddenly I just stood up and I left. I was panic stricken. I was I can't explain how I was, but I was fearful. I was almost crying. I had to get out of the house or the flat at the time. And you asked me what in the heck happened. And I said to you, I saw her aura, and I have never seen such dangerous aura in my life. Illuminated green kind of thing. I couldn't tell me. Then what happened, Sue? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember. Go on, you tell the story. Go on.
What happened was that when Erica was there, it was Erica, her name was, when she was there with you. She suddenly got a message that her husband or boyfriend was killed in an accident, something to do with a bus.
Yes, that's right. I mean,
that was the fear in which I saw. That was her trauma she had to go through. That was my bewilderness. I had no idea how to translate that color. I just
very vivid. I remember you describing it as a very vivid, almost quite unpleasant green. And also, you know, maybe that color on somebody else would mean something else.
Absolutely. But
for her, it was, and there were several things, one of which I'm not going to mention, but there were several things after that that were quite awful that happened. So yes, that kind of thing, you have to really be alert to the person that you're sitting. You really open yourself, you know. You have to be very open-minded.
So that's where I just thought it was interesting to just come in on the color scheme with how that, you know, within spiritualism, within what I have learned as a medium, it's very valid that some understand the aura and understand the meaning of it, the colors of it, and so forth. Yet, as we all say, it changes from person to person. But I must actually, sometimes I sit back in, I have to say, in bewilderness when I started to see what people do. I can only go into Denmark. I know that England, we've got a long history of healing with Harry Edwards and the Sanctuary and so forth. But there was one time I have to explain to you. I think I have told you that a long time ago. You've probably forgotten, Sue. But I actually was drawn into a conversation where this woman was so happy in Denmark, excessively happy, because that she has had her aura washed. Pardon? Yes, she had her aura washed. Somebody took her aura off and washed it.
Oh my word!
To her again, and I can remember.
What do you say to that?
I couldn't say anything. I was just going like this. But there was many people who came and went, vanish, powder, powder, personal power, and people was absolutely in shock that somebody could be taken in and paying 800 quid for it, 8,000 for it, to have that. And then there was another time I was being alerted to, and people was holding hands in the air like this, and then people could walk underneath. So two people would hold each other's hand, and a person would go underneath it, and they would do that kind of thing, and then they would go up, and their aura was also washed.
Oh my word. I mean, that is really, we used to have a joke. I don't know if you remember this. Me, Steve, the president of Stockholm Spiritualist Church, when we did the healing, and you, and we'd say, right, now then, get a comb, let's comb our aura. And we used to joke about combing our aura. Do you remember? That's what it reminds me.
Yeah.
Oh, quick comb.
Yeah, it had to be a better post. Let's comb it. But we did
Yeah.
loads of things, didn't we? We're not trying to take the mickey out of it, but we were just trying to make the vibration. Yeah.
Also, laughing and keeping the vibration light is really important with healing. And, you know, just keeping it light and laughter, and always, you know, when we've sat together, meditation, that kind of thing, we always have a bit of a laugh first, always, because it lifts the vibration.
Absolutely.
So important.
There is just so many fantastic stories. Also let you know how does homeopathy work. And I just have to say, obviously, you know, I'll go a lot to Sue and says so and so and so and so. But I have suffered for what is called thyroid for many years. It was diagnosed by the doctors about my thyroid. Strube in Danish, I think it's called. And Dee wanted automatically to start giving me this kind of medicine, all that and that, whatever. So they gave me what is called a small doses of thyroxine. It's something you get for your thyroid. And then I went back to Sue and she says, well, okay, because there's one thing I know about you, Sue, and I love you for it. You never go against the doctor. You said we'll work together. You always have a work together with the doctor. I said, take it, but I will give you something else. And you give me something else. And to the bewilderness of my own doctor in London, whom I have had for over 30 years. I have had my thyroid for nearly 15, 20 years. Can never understand why that I cannot and have not increased my tablet for my thyroid. She's bewildered every time I go down and say, that doesn't happen. Because with years, you have to have it a little bit more, then you have to have it a little bit more, then you do the same tablets. And I just looked at her with a smile and she says, we know you into all that funny stuff. So it's again, yes, work together with your doctor. And this is something I have always said, it's brilliant about you, Sue. You never take people away.
Yeah, well, no, never. And I might personally, inside myself, not agree with what's happening and what that person is doing, but a person's peace of mind, to me, is much more important than what I believe or what I think. So, you know, I will work around it. I will always work around it. I mean, when I first qualified, I worked for 2 years treating with homeopathy people in an HIV centre. And most of them were on combination remedies, which is the given treatment now when you contract HIV. And I always worked with them. I had fantastic results, even though they were taking the medication, because homeopathy works energetically. It works with your own innate healing ability, your vital force, we call it, your vitality. It's how good and how responsive your vital force is. And yeah, I had, you know, some really, really great results with that. That taught me a lot. And then also, this taught me a lot that, now, how long ago would it have been? About, I don't know, it was a long time ago anyway, when my younger daughter, I'm getting old. When she was a child, my younger daughter, she contracted bacterial meningitis. She was extremely ill and could have died. There was a point when I wasn't sure whether she was going to live or not. And I was in my final year of studying homeopathy. And basically, I was treating her. I kept thinking, this is like meningitis, but it wasn't presenting typically. And eventually I called the doctor twice, and the doctor came the second time. And then she rang me back about half an hour later. And she said, I'm going to come back, give your daughter a jab of penicillin, injection of penicillin, and you have to take her to the hospital. I've rung the hospital. So she did that. And literally, my daughter, who was, I felt energetically fading in front of me, she had the injection of penicillin, and I saw her energy coming back into her, because for all the years that we've known each other, it's something that we train to do. Look at the energy of the person in front of you, the aura. And I felt her her energy gather, and she was actually able to walk to the car. I didn't have to carry her. And as I say, she was extremely ill, and there was an amazing consultant at the hospital. And when he walked in, he was like an angel. I really actually felt that, because they wanted to give her a lumbar puncture, and I was frightened, but I wasn't showing it, and she was frightened. And he walked in and he said, "This child is clearly very ill and does not need the lumbar puncture." And he said, he looked at all her notes, all her vital statistics of her liver, her kidney, all her vital functions were all normal. And he said, "This child clearly has meningococcal bacteria, but all her functions are normal." He said, "We never see that." And he wrote in the notes, "This child's mother is a homeopath, and this is clearly down to homeopathy." And he gave me the credit, and I gave him the credit. So it was really lovely. And that taught me, that was just before I qualified. And it taught me, right, you know, we can work together. We can work together. It's not, you know, them and us. It's all of us. It's we, you know, we can do this.
I do remember that story so well. The whole incident. I just remember it like it was yesterday, what happened.
Yeah.
But that really gave me the sort of respect for your work and the way you treated her and things like that, and the way you went into the special hospital and all that. It really helped.
And this is what I was going to say. When I got into the hospital, one of my friends turned up who I was studying with, Eva, and she had a book written by someone called Clark, and he had taken millions of clinical notes. He wasn't a homeopath, but he watched everyone, all the people being treated. He took minute notes of everything. And in his notes was a remedy, because you can make a homeopathic remedy from anything. And I've often done it, especially with the people with HIV. I would make a remedy out of their medicine. That's not homeopathy, it's called tautopathy. It is the remedy of the medicine. Homeopathy is the simillimum, it's something similar to the disease or whatever. So there had been a remedy made from penicillinum, and that is what Scarlett had, my daughter. And basically all the symptoms of the remedy made from penicillin were the symptoms that she had been presenting. And I was, wow, penicillin was her remedy. Okay, she had an actual dose of it. She didn't have a homeopathic dose, but she had it in an actual dose. And then I began to realize that homeopathy is not just the little pills that you give people. It can be a person. You see that person and your energy changes. It shifts for the better, sometimes for the worse, but it shifts for the better. Everything that we resonate with. So my daughter was resonating with penicillin, and that was, I was really blown away by that, and that really taught me something. And that was great, because it was the beginning of my journey with homeopathy.
And I think that was probably, or is the same with myself. When I sit with my clients, I use all my ability in which I have been taught all my life. So it's not just a clairvoyantly view I have. I have all the six senses with me at the time that I sit. I examine, I look, I see, I hear, I feel, I touch, I do anything. I have learned to put all that together also. And looking at the person, watching the aura, looking what goes on. It is very essential that people learn that from the beginning. You cannot just go out, I have to say, and read this in books, where a lot of people just read, oh, you can do this and this and this and this, you can do that and that. That doesn't exist really. What you have to do is hands-on and learn from your intuition for what it is you see.
Absolutely.
Now, ladies, I just have to come in now. I'm always the party killer. I'm sorry. But it's almost time to end up this very interesting conversation. I love it. So just let me say about 5 more minutes, Marion and Juhl. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I just want to say to Suzy Parker, our journey has been walking hand in hand all our way.
Yeah.
Our children, where we are living, the way we think, the way we are, and also how we have trusted each other. I remember saying to you many of times, I trust you as much as I trust death.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the same for me. Marion has been my friend, you know, for almost 50 years. I mean, I can't believe it. We're getting old, darling.
One thing I would like to know before we actually start this. Now, come on, Sue, you've known me for 50 years. Would you like to tell everybody what you know in Danish, what you can say in Danish?
Oh, God. Oh, dear, this is going to be very embarrassing. Vi snakker om djævlen, nu kommer han.
Snakker om djævlen, nu kommer han. Good word. We could always talk about people without you knowing it. I said, oh my God, we can't talk about him.
Nu kommer boss number 2.
Number 2. That's what we always do. These are her quotation into Danish. Isn't it wonderful?
I know. These are I think I probably understand listening to it more than speaking it. You know, there's certain things.
Often sat and listened to Danish and understood it. Same as Simon, he says that he understands much more in listening. But he also says, Simon, he says that I understand the Norwegian better.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting, isn't it? He says, I understand the Norwegian better when they speak Norwegian to you than what I understand the Danish when he speaks to you.
How weird.
That's what he says.
That is really weird. Yeah, I must say, actually, when I hear the different Scandinavian languages, that there are, you know, some of them do seem clearer than others. It's really
interesting, isn't it?
Very, very different. Well, they're not very different, but they are different. You know, got the different way of, you know, sort of speaking. I listened to some Swedish recently, and it's extraordinary.
It's hard to explain, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very hard to explain. And in fact, actually, I listened to some sort of Icelandic not long ago, and I felt that was really clear to me what they were saying. Yeah, gosh knows what.
You just have to listen to the Greenlandic then. Do you have their own language themselves?
Oh,
any languages within the...
Oh my goodness, the Finnish.
Yeah, because if you look at the region we come from, we know as a Nordic countries. It isn't just Scandinavia, which is just in Sweden, but we do have Finland, Greenland, and Iceland involved in all this, so that becomes the Nordic countries.
Yeah, I must say, when I came to, Kit's mum paid for me to go with her to Denmark when we were about 23, something like that. Yeah. And oh my goodness, I absolutely love Denmark. I just love it. I felt as if I was at home completely.
There was one thing I remember before we leave this, or before I say thank you, and that is that Sue stood up and she looked and she says, I do love the Danish postman. So why does she love the Danish postman? Couldn't understand why she said that. It's the uniforms she had done, and she had red uniforms on and looking very smart.
So smart.
Don't look at it now. They're not like that.
So I can remember being in Copenhagen and seeing the police in their, you know, their outfits. I was like, my gosh, you know, so smart.
So that is how you remember Denmark. Postman and police.
And the post box and your post boxes. Yeah, I don't know why that struck me so much, but it did.
A beautiful outfit. Thank you very much indeed, Sue.
Thank you, darling. That was lovely.
Fantastic to see you also this morning. It's
Yes.
like in my living room.
Thank goodness. Phew. Let's hope we can see each other soon.
Me too, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed.
Oh, it's lovely to see you. Love to everybody in Denmark as well. Woo! From Glastonbury.
Suzy, please stay here with us. Don't go away right now. Are you still there? Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
End this. Thank you very much, Suzy. Thank you. I hope we can see you again here on my podcast. Maybe love or something else to talk about. I have been listening to you ladies, and it was very, very interesting. You talked about colors, how important colors are when you're working, and I know a little bit about Marion's work and how Marion talked about aura and that kind of thing, and this history or story about washing aura. It's whatever. But I have been stalking your home page, Suzy.
Oh yes.
And, everybody who's listening can find you on the internet, I believe, and go to your website.
Yes, yeah.
First thing I saw on your website was a butterfly.
Oh yes, yes.
That's a very spiritual symbol too. So.
Oh, I love butterflies.
Yeah.
Such a spiritual symbol of transformation. Beautiful.
So if any of our listeners want to get in contact with you, they can find you on the internet. Or shall we put down your website on the comment below? Is that okay with you?
Yes, yeah, you could put my email on the website. Yes. Yeah, that's fine.
So thank you very much from here. Marion, thank you very much too.
Oh, thank you.
And my good friend Juhl, and to all of you listeners and viewers, have a very good day today. Here in Denmark, the sun is shining. I hope with my heart everything's okay with you.
Oh, lovely.
Very, very much.
Oh, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.